Hi, it's Michael here again, the presentation maestro. And this question is, how can a speaker stimulate questions or discussion during a presentation? Is it best during it or after it? A great question. Well, it depends what you want to achieve. And it's worthwhile remembering that every time you stimulate questions or discussion or interaction, it will nearly always lengthen the presentation. And as a rule of thumb, if you've got more than 15 or 20 in the audience, I wouldn't open it up too often to questions. But it's good to have interaction during a presentation. And I think this is best done when you reach the end of the introduction, when you've laid out your stall, tell them what you're going to cover, then position them on how to handle questions or interaction. And you can be completely open. You can say, look, I'd love to take questions at any stage. So at any time you want to ask me a question, just throw it at me. That's okay if you know your subject extremely well and you don't have a time limit. But most of us will have a time limit. I think if you're wanting interaction throughout the presentation, what probably is a safer and more controlled way of doing it is to say something, look, I'd love to take questions and interaction through this talk, and to that end, I'll be stopping after each part of my talk to take that interaction. So unless you're absolutely burning to ask, I'd be grateful if you wouldn't mind keeping them to those places. So that will allow you to have interaction during the talk, but it's controlled as well. And if you feel you're not getting enough from the audience, maybe you can throw some into them and ask open questions. Say, look, can I just pause here for a second and just do a quick reality check? I mean, how many of you feel that such and such might be helpful, or such and such could be useful? Or can I just ask you, how would you tackle the dilemma I've just thrown into you? Open questions if you can, and so that stimulates a little bit. And if nobody's biting, maybe you can nominate one of the audience to answer. And it's a little, I wouldn't say it's a technique, but it's called pitch, pays, pause. As in, you pitch the question out there, you pause a little, and you choose somebody to answer it. So you could say, I wonder how you would handle this dilemma I've just outlined. 2, 3, 4. James. So everybody is pedaling like mad underneath the water thinking, oh God, I hope he doesn't choose me, or what's the answer going to be? And then you nominate somebody to answer it. It's not picking on them so much, but it sets the scene that you're going to stimulate some interaction and expect something back from them if they don't give it to you naturally. And as for taking it towards the end, that's a great place to do it, but I would take your final questions before the summary so that you finish on your message and not on the last question. Hope you found that useful, and I'll see you on the next one.